This is us. Chrissy Metz breaks silence on using GLP-1 meds, terrifying truth. It seems like more and more stars in Hollywood are on Ozempic and other GLP-1 meds. This is Us star Chrissy Metz was one of the rare holdouts against the weight loss medication. She broke her silence and revealed why she gave in and started using the medication despite being terrified. Keep reading for all the details. Chrissy Metz's weight has been a topic of conversation for years. After over a decade in Hollywood, including an audition for American Idol, her breakout role came in NBC's family drama, This Is Us. The show put a spotlight on the actress like never before. Chrissy Metz opened up on the Today Show about why she refused to use the medication for years and what changed her mind. "I didn't know how it was going to react in my body. I don't think we also knew all the right information. I think we were sort of miseducated, and I was as well," she admitted. Her father's declining health was the catalyst for her decision to start using GLP-1s. "There were some complications with my father's health, and I was like, maybe I should try to get ahead of it," she explained. The This Is Us star partnered with Roe, an online health platform that provides GLP-1 medication and support. Superstar tennis player Serena Williams is also a spokesperson for Roe. Chrissy Metz shared more insight into her decision to use GLP-1 weight loss medication. "I'm not getting any younger. I'm in perimenopause, and there were obesity issues within my family and with my father, and I felt like I've tried so many modalities, whether it was diets or therapy, and none of it really worked for me," she told People magazine. The actress, 45, made her Broadway debut in June as Angelique in the musical & Juliet. "It's been great. I've enjoyed the benefits that I didn't think that would come because I was very skeptical," she said about how the GLP-1 medication is working so far. But she's not relying solely on the weight loss medication. She's doing weight training and exercising more. "It's good for me because I'm really putting myself first, and it's something I've always wanted to do but have to really put into practice," Chrissy Metz said about the lifestyle change required with GLP-1 medication. She didn't reveal how much weight she's lost so far, but stay tuned for updates on her weight loss journey. This Is Us. Star Chrissy Metz breaks silence on GLP-1 medication, the truth behind her shocking health journey. Chrissy Metz is opening up about a deeply personal chapter of her health journey, and this time, she is addressing one of the biggest questions surrounding her recent transformation: GLP-1 medication. The This Is Us star has spent years speaking candidly about body image, weight, food, self-acceptance, and the pressure placed on women to look a certain way. But her latest revelation has surprised fans because it represents a significant change from the position she publicly expressed just a year ago. In 2025, Metz had been skeptical about weight loss medications, warning that appetite-suppressing drugs could become a slippery slope for people struggling with restrictive eating behaviors. Now, however, the actress says her perspective has changed. And the reason behind that change is far more complicated than simply wanting to lose weight. A major change of heart. Metz, now 45, recently revealed that she is using a GLP-1 medication as part of her current health journey. Her decision came after years of trying to approach her health through lifestyle changes, including walking, diet adjustments, and strength training. According to recent reports, Metz had previously lost around 100 pounds through non-surgical methods and became increasingly focused on building strength rather than simply watching the number on a scale. That history makes her decision to use a GLP-1 particularly significant. For Metz, the medication wasn't presented as a shortcut or a magic solution. Instead, she described it as one component of a much larger approach to her well-being. She has also partnered with Roe, a digital health company that provides access to GLP-1 treatments. But perhaps the most revealing part of her story is what she says happened inside her mind. The food noise that wouldn't go away. For years, Metz has spoken about the complicated emotional relationship she developed with food. Her childhood experiences played a major role in that relationship, and she has previously described food as something connected to comfort and love. Her weight journey was never simply about calories or exercise. That is why her recent comments about GLP-1 medication have resonated with so many people. Metz says the medication helped quiet what is often described as food noise, the persistent mental preoccupation with eating, cravings, and food choices. That doesn't mean she suddenly stopped caring about food or that every struggle disappeared. Instead, she says the treatment helped her feel less consumed by those thoughts, allowing her to redirect attention toward other parts of her life. For someone who has spent years publicly discussing the emotional side of weight and body image, that distinction is crucial. The terrifying part wasn't what fans expected. The word terrifying surrounding Metz's story can easily make it sound as though she experienced a dangerous medical emergency. But there is an important distinction. Metz has not publicly reported a frightening medical reaction to the medication. Instead, much of the fear she has discussed involved the uncertainty surrounding GLP-1 drugs, the misinformation surrounding them, and the complicated emotions attached to using medication for weight management. She entered this chapter with skepticism. That skepticism was understandable. GLP-1 medications have become one of the most controversial subjects in celebrity culture, fitness culture, and modern weight management. Some people view them as revolutionary tools. Others worry about side effects, long-term use, and the way Hollywood's obsession with thinness could influence people into taking medication unnecessarily. Metz has essentially experienced both sides of that debate. She once questioned whether appetite-suppressing medication was appropriate for everyone. Now, she is explaining why she ultimately decided that her own situation required a different choice. Her father's health changed her perspective. One of the biggest influences on Metz's thinking was her father's health. Reports about her recent revelation say that witnessing her father's obesity-related health complications made her think differently about her own future. That realization shifted the conversation away from appearance. Instead of asking, "How thin can I become?" Metz began asking a much more important question. How healthy can I be as I get older? That distinction has become central to her message. She has spoken about concerns surrounding aging and conditions that can affect mobility and quality of life. Her goal, according to recent reports, is not simply to achieve a specific number on the scale, but to feel stronger, healthier, and more capable. That perspective also explains why strength training remains an important part of her routine. GLP-1 isn't doing all the work. Metz has been clear that medication isn't the entire story. She has continued working with a trainer and incorporating strength training and exercise into her routine. That is particularly relevant because Metz is currently performing on Broadway in Juliet, a physically demanding production. Having the energy and strength to perform night after night is a very different goal from simply losing weight for a red carpet appearance. Metz has reportedly described improvements in areas including energy and inflammation while using the medication alongside her broader lifestyle efforts. And that combination appears to be what she wants people to understand. The medication is a tool, not a replacement for movement, nutrition, strength, or medical supervision. Why fans are divided? Naturally, the revelation has sparked strong reactions. Some fans have applauded Metz for being honest about a decision that many celebrities keep private. Others have questioned how someone who previously expressed concerns about GLP-1 medications could later decide to use one herself. But Metz's answer is essentially that people are allowed to learn, change, and make different decisions as their circumstances evolve. Her earlier concerns were real. Her current decision is also real. Those two things can exist at the same time. A person can be skeptical of a treatment, educate themselves, discuss it with medical professionals, and eventually decide that it is appropriate for their individual circumstances. That is precisely why Metz has pushed back against criticism. She has emphasized that she and her healthcare providers understand her medical history better than strangers on the internet do. The side effects conversation still matters. While Metz has not reported experiencing a major adverse reaction herself, GLP-1 medications are not risk-free. People using these drugs can experience gastrointestinal symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, constipation, and diarrhea. A recent analysis of self-reported experiences online also found that fatigue and other symptoms were commonly mentioned. That doesn't mean everyone experiences those effects, and individual responses can vary considerably. It also doesn't mean someone should start or stop a medication based on a celebrity's experience. Metz's story is personal. Her medical decisions were made within the context of her own history, goals, and conversations with healthcare professionals. That's an important message at a time when social media can make complicated medical decisions look incredibly simple. A different definition of success. Perhaps the biggest change in Metz's story isn't the medication at all. It's the way she defines success. For years, the public conversation around celebrity weight loss has centered on dramatic transformations. Before and after photographs, numbers on scales, dress sizes, red carpet appearances. But Metz has increasingly redirected that conversation towards strength, energy, and quality of life. That may be why her latest update feels so different. She's not presenting herself as someone who discovered a magical solution. She's presenting herself as a woman who spent years trying different approaches, reconsidered her beliefs, and eventually made a decision she believes is right for her. Chrissy Metz is still writing her own story. The actress who became beloved as Kate Pearson on This Is Us has never had a conventional Hollywood body story. Her visibility helped millions of viewers see a woman who struggles with weight, confidence, and self-worth were part of the character's emotional journey. Now, years after the series ended, Metz is continuing that conversation in her own life. Her GLP-1 revelation doesn't erase what she previously believed. Instead, it shows how complicated health decisions can be. She once feared the potential consequences of appetite-suppressing medication. Today, she says the treatment has helped her feel less consumed by food and more focused on her overall well-being. And perhaps that is the real truth behind the headlines. This isn't simply a story about Chrissy Metz losing weight. It's about a woman reassessing what health means to her after years of public scrutiny, personal struggles, and changing circumstances. For Metz, the goal appears to be bigger than a number. It's about having the strength to keep performing, the energy to enjoy life, and the freedom to stop letting food and other people's opinions control the conversation. Her journey is still unfolding. And if her latest revelations prove anything, it's that